Welcome to my little home upstairs. I'm just let's see if I can get it all in here. I've put up this big curtain to keep out the cold, and just give you a little look how I live. So let's do our Sunday shining. Back again by the fire. So welcome everybody. Looks like something's on the camera. So welcome all you beautiful people to our Sunday Shining number 14. It's been a cold night last night. Beautiful frosty morning with clear sky. We've had a lot of grey weather and quite a lot of rain. It's been very wet. So it's nice to see the frost, and when the sky clears up. I was out last night because I was just experimenting with separating Rasmus and his mum and just looking up into the night sky, all these millions and millions of stars. I just get surprised every time how beautiful it is, and how when you're inside the house you're not aware that outside there is this magnificence. We are this little being on this planet that's shooting through the air at enormous speed, and all this is going on, and within us there's this world of all this that's going on also. And how do we make life work? Who are we really? Who are we? What are we? Why are we here? It's big questions. So it's been a really, really dramatic week for me. I don't know about you. I really think, as I've said before, that we're really experiencing the same things, or the same energies. It can be with different themes in our lives, but we're really, especially we who are watching this video, we're very much in tune with each other, I think. And so you might have also had a really, really very dramatic week. So I send you all my love, and I thank you. I thank you for all your wonderful, wonderful comments, and how you're fun, and you're very honest, and how you share these little things from your life. It's so precious. It's just really, really precious. And to sense, that's what I sense, is that our heart is working hard. Heart is working hard. Our heart is reshaping itself, because the heart we used to have was not the same heart as the one we have now, and the one we're moving into having. It's going to be beaming with light and love, our heart. So we're in the process of an enormous transformation. We're shedding really all of ourselves. And in the mystical Christian tradition, we see the crucifixion of Jesus as really an image of our own crucifixion. Jesus is just showing the way. He knew he was going to be crucified, and it has a very deep message, which is about. That's just how I have got to see it, and I feel it's very true. That our ego becomes crucified. We let it go. We let it die, and when we let the ego die, our spirit being is born. We are reborn. We ascend. We come back to life in a new form. But we have to let the ego die, and that process is enormous. It is really, really enormous. So, when I think today, just these last, today I feel pretty shattered. I think it's called, sort of messed up. Like I've been through something really a horrendous storm, and I just got indoors and just all shaken. And when you feel life is really challenging, I think it's so helpful to remind ourselves that this change that the earth is going through has never ever happened before, and that all of the cosmos, every single planet, every single being out there is watching Earth. All eyes are on us. Earth is not the only place something's happening. Something's happening everywhere in all of creation, but what is happening on Earth is so important. And nobody can say this is what's going to happen, because it's all in our own hands. And because we are the creators of this change, we humans. If we suddenly disappeared from the earth, it would happen anyway, but because we're here, we're part of this process of Gaia, the planet, awakening. So the planet, and that's hard for us to understand, the planet is a being. It's not a human being, but it is a being with consciousness. And it has an agenda. The earth wants to awaken and to its full glory, to its enlightened self. And that is very hard. I mean, I find it hard to understand that the earth is a being. And because we are humans, we are half earth and half spirit. So this is part of Mother Earth. This is a little that thing that is a part of the earth, because we are physical. So we are part of that plan because we are half physical. And we are also spirit. So spirit and matter have merged in us. And especially in humans, because we hold the free will of God. We hold the God consciousness. So we are co-creators with God. So God came into us all these millions, or we were created by God and have His light within us, His life within us, and He's experiencing through us. When I make this video, and all the things you do, have this sip of tea, it's actually God experiencing through us. And that can be really hard to grasp too, because you think God is this mighty being that has it all fixed and all organized, and we are controlled by Him or her. And in a sense that's true, but it's also He is also experiencing through us. It's like He said, here you are, all you little children, all you little humans, go out into the world and experience what it is like to be a spirit in human form, and come back and tell me what it's like, or let me experience through you what it's like, and I give you complete free will to do really, really bad things and really, really creative, wonderful things. And I still love you. I will never stop loving you. And I'm with you. And I allow you to do all this. I give you the free will. I won't stop you. If you have a really bad intention and you're going to go out and do something really horrific, I still love you, and I'm there with you. And it even says in the Bible, try everything and hold on to what is good. Go and try it. But of course, the more we awaken and the more we come into our spirit self and sense God speaking directly in us, we can feel that we want to do good and we want to act out of love. And also because we have done so many things that were not acts out of love, that we've learned that that's very uncomfortable, to do something that is hateful. Just get organized here. To do something that you can feel inside you're hurting someone. You're actually deliberately doing something because you're so angry. So you're going to hurt someone or do something. It's very uncomfortable afterwards because you can sense this is not of the light. I'm actually providing more darkness to the earth and to myself. And it's very uncomfortable. So we learn that if I want to really create more joy and well-being for myself, I have to act out of love and do good. And that's where I feel my little job here is to, because I feel it's been very challenging to learn how to love really. Because we've learned that when you love, you're always good and you're always kind and you always say yes. But it's not. And that's difficult. Love can be leaving someone and never seeing them again. That can be a very loving act, because that's the right thing to do. That is of the highest good for you and for them. And it can be scolding someone or telling them, I just won't have you doing that, and getting really, really angry at someone. I mean, I feel, of course, we have to learn to express our emotions in ways that are, it's an art to become really angry and to stay really calm within, to show someone I'm really, really angry now. And if you do that again, I experienced that this week, if you do that again, I'm going to do this and this and this. And that's not going to be very nice for you. And I just felt it with all my heart. I have to do it because sometimes, and it's only because people are still very rooted in the ego, it can be necessary to be very firm with them and be very to just, they get frightened in a way. Oh my goodness, this person really means it. Because when we're in the ego, what people say, we don't really take so seriously, because in the ego there's no real clarity, and people might say something but they don't mean it, but they say it anyway. So we get used to communicating in a way that's very unclear, and we don't really believe what people are saying, because they might not really mean it. So we may as well just not believe it, or just say, oh, yeah, she probably doesn't mean it, but I did mean it. So, being in this world, being present right now, I feel is really, really challenging. So yeah, I think it's good to share. And when I was just going to start making this video, I thought to myself, what you really want is to share that things are really working for you, and that you really know which way to go, and that it's becoming easier and easier. But that's not what I feel I'm experiencing. It's actually really, really difficult. But then I know deep down that it's not helpful to people to always say that you think things are easy. It's more helpful to say that you think things are really hard sometimes too. So that's what I'm sharing in this video. So there were different things I've written down, so I'll just get my paper and just see how much to share this week. So one thing I want to share, which is sort of quite a practical thing, or it's something I found on the internet which I want to share with you. And I've talked so much about diet and healing, and what I've experienced myself is that what they call the carnivore diet can be a very helpful step to take for some of us. And the ketogenic way of eating is also, I feel, really very, very powerful, because you're removing the sugars or lowering the sugar content of your diet, and it just helps the whole body work better. So somebody on the internet who I find really wonderful to watch is a man called Dr. Berry, and you might know him. And he has a wife called Nisha, and she's very much has been on the internet a real long time. And I just feel what they're doing right now is really, really powerful. And there was a video the other day on Nisha's channel where they were talking about how they met each other. He's 50 and she's 33, and they've just had a little baby. And what I love about them is they're very honest about themselves, and they're really trying to spread the message, which they're doing very, very well, of the ketogenic way of eating and the carnivore way of eating. And Dr. Berry, you can see on his channel, it's just called Dr. Berry, MD. He's a medical doctor. And you can see how he's changed. He's on the carnivore diet now, and you can see how he has healed, and he looks so healthy. And it just is mind-boggling. It's really hard to understand how meat can heal like that, but you can see it clearly on him. And he's helping, I mean, he has so many followers and is helping many, many people. They're both helping many, many people. So if you want to go and have a look and dive more into this whole way of eating, you can go and have a look. I'll put a link under this video. So that was one thing. So let's just say a little prayer. Dear mighty creating Father, dear Lord, thank you for this moment. Thank you for the fire burning. Thank you for the sun that is rising, bringing light to the sky. Thank you for our bodies, our minds, our souls. Thank you for the air we breathe. Thank you for every thought, every feeling we have. And help us just embrace it all as it is. Thank you that you have given us life on this planet. Thank you for our lives exactly where we are right now. Every part of our life that can seem so difficult, and every part of it that seems so easy and wonderful. All of it. thank you for all of it. And help us see where we can grow more. Help us learn how we can love more from a deeper place. And help us create conditions for ourselves where we really feel we are thriving, we are blossoming, and we are enjoying our lives right where we are. Thank you that your peace and your wisdom and your love, your being is inside us. As Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. And that's where God is, the kingdom of God. So thank you that everything we need is right inside us, and we don't have to go searching anywhere. I pray for this little time we have together, that you bless each and every one of us. Help us feel your love right now. Help us feel your peace, your well-being in every cell of our body. And let this peace radiate out, this love radiate out of us, out to all the earth, every being on this planet. Help them feel our love and our peace. We embrace all the earth with love. And I pray for our families and our friends, all the beings we know, animals, all beings in our lives who we are in contact with or maybe not in contact with. I just ask for your blessings over all of them. May they feel your love. May they feel your joy and peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, it's wonderful to pray. It's so helpful. And the whole thing of praying and praying to God, I think I just want to touch on now, because for us as humans, we have learnt that you have to belong to a religion to be able to pray. And so people who were not religious have learnt to not pray. So I feel it's a very powerful time we're in that sense also, that and that's very much what I want to share, that you can be a believer and you can have a very, very rich spiritual life and not belong to any religion. And it's funny how I sense this for many years, that like if you met a Christian person and you said, oh, I pray and this, you get the feeling that you can't pray because you're not Christian. Or it's just, that's what we do as Christians, but you can't. But it's not true. You can be a strong believer and really sense the presence of God and pray to God and be connected to God and celebrate God and all the spirit, His spirit world, and not be religious. So it's so beautiful and I think so helpful on our journey. But the whole thing of the religions, I don't think they're ever going to dissolve completely or merge with each other, but they're going to become much more holy, and the essence of every religion is going to shine forth, and that is going to bring people to realize that it's all about the same thing, and it has always been about the same thing. It's been about connecting with God and finding the love there, and realizing that you are love, and that you're here to love yourself and all around you, and the one who created you. That's what life is all about. And it does not matter what you call God. So it's funny how the in the Muslim tradition, or the Arabian people, the Arabic people, there are Christian Arabic people, and they call God Allah. It's the Almighty. They call him Allah also, like the Muslims do. Yeah, and yeah, it's just, I also think, because we go to church, I go every Sunday now, and my husband also goes sometimes, and I love it very, very much. And I think the Danish church, because the Danish people are quite unreligious people, and not many go to church, and because I think there has been a big enlightening process in the Danish population. The Danish ministers are very universal in their belief, and they're very non-judgmental. It's very rare that you'll experience a minister who says something bad about the other religions. And also another thing is that it's very fundamentalistic. It's very open. The way that the Christian faith is being taught in the churches. And we have just found a very, very beautiful minister nearby who's very sweet. It's just like looking into the face of Christ. She's just so filled with peace. And I love the Danish psalms, and I just love singing and just celebrating my faith. So I love going to church. And when you talk, there's always coffee after the church. It's very small, so it's maybe 20 people. It's very, very small, and I love that too. It's a little village churches, and this church that I go to is about, it's from 1100s. It's one of the smallest churches in Denmark, and it's just so beautiful. the whole architecture, little white church. It's so simple and yet so beautiful. It's a visual and audio experience, and then you have the experience with meeting people. So for many years it's not been like that, but in the churches they realize that having a cup of coffee in the entrance on the way out of the church, they have this little table with coffee and some cookies or something, which I don't have, of course. But just sitting there, having a little cup of coffee and just having a chat to someone, it's so special. So that there is some sort of connection between people, because we are quite a private people. We don't really connect with each other very much, and definitely not on a heart level. So it's coming slowly. So it's so wonderful. So I can go. I feel very connected to Christ, as I've said before. But as I see it, Christ was really not. He wasn't a Christian, and he wasn't religious. He came to shine the light and tell us that we are the light. So I feel very comfortable in the Danish church, especially when the minister is very filled with faith. Some ministers are full of ego and they need a lot of attention. It's like a little children in a grown body, and that I think is not that fun. So I love to spread the message that you, no matter what you believe in, and whether you feel that you're not religious, you can still pray, use prayer, and feel the presence of God, because God is not religious. it's so beautiful. And yeah. So this is a funny video I'm making this week. I've talked about being in the now, and my husband and I, we're practicing that a lot. And it's so powerful how you can sense how strong the ego has been, because just coming into your heart and just being present in this moment, how everything changes, and the connection between you changes. It all becomes so peaceful and so loving. We let go of the tension. We let go of the thoughts. What was it I said? What was it I did yesterday? What is it I'm going to do in 5 minutes? And as we're doing it, we're realizing how little we have been present all these years, been present together. And you can say it's really sad, but the thing that you actually are becoming aware that you can change your way of being by just becoming present, it's such a relief. And you can see that I'm actually creating a completely new life for myself, but also with my partner, where we are two people who are present with each other. And what a relief to experience that I don't need to think about what I did 5 minutes ago or what I'm going to do in 10 minutes. I can just be here and let it all go. Let it all go. And when I do that, I'm here. And I'm here with my partner, and I can see my partner. And I can feel I actually love my partner. And do I need to say much? No. Because I'm giving the greatest I can give, and that's my presence. And just sensing how we are really one. There's this, we are our own individual selves, of course, but the light that shines in us, the God essence, is the same. So God is really meeting himself between us. There's this beautiful light that's just shining from our hearts, shining over to the other one. It's like you can see it as going in an 8. The eternal signal, the eternal symbol. So it's so beautiful. And yeah, you can think, did it really have to take me so long to learn this? Well, it did, apparently. And the more you do it, the better you become at it. Just being present. It's so wonderful. And of course the ego cannot be there, because the ego doesn't know what presence is. Because the ego is a constant planning, a constant making of himself, herself, because it really is nothing. It's a construct. It's something we've made up. It's the false self. And it has no peace. The ego does not hold peace, but the spirit does. Our heart does. Our presence does. So you really feel... I just have to cough. When you allow yourself to come into the present moment, you feel your spirit. That's what you're feeling. And that's the being that has not been allowed to be here because the ego has taken its place. Or we have allowed that the ego took its place. And it happened I mean, the so-called original sin that is described in the Bible, it's a way of seeing it. It's when we were separated from God, we went into amnesia, and we lost ourselves, we lost our spirit. And so since then we've had to make up the person we are. And the spirit has always been there as a very, very slight feeling, but the most of our attention has been used and our energy has been used on creating this person. And it wasn't our true self. So what's happening now is our spirit is becoming, is taking over our form. We're going to be spiritual beings in a human body. And you and you sense how it's so easy. It's so easy being this way. And you can sense how when you have, because in the ego you're always searching for peace, for well-being, for love, for wisdom. You're always searching. And so it's a constant unease. And when you let it all go, you step into your spirit, you sense that it's all always been there. It's right here. All the peace I have ever longed for is in me in this moment, and it's been there all along, because God is present right here. And all I need to do is let go of that I used to be, and just sense, and I can feel it. And all the love I was looking for, it's right here, it's in me. All the wisdom I was looking for, all the clarity, what do I do, what do I say, what do I think, it's all there. And when you're completely one with your spirit, you realize you don't have to think. You don't have to think very much, because you are the wisdom. And you don't have to create anything really. If you are to create something, it will come as a very clear, delightful sense within you that, this would be nice to do. This would be fun. I'd love to do this. You don't have to think. It will just come. It will just flow forth. And what people think about you, what people say about you, what's going to happen tomorrow, doesn't really matter anymore. Because you found the greatest. And you're and you also feel that when you're in this state of being, you are feeling love for everyone and everything. You are the love. So whether you call them and tell them that you love them, or you ever get to see them again, doesn't matter, because you are loving them in this moment, because you are love itself. So your relationships, everything softens, everything lightens. And the responsibility that, I should do all this and this and this, you feel it's not, that if I can do this, this is the greatest. This is the greatest. Just let it all go and become present in this moment. So I wanted to just shine a little light on orgasm. I know that's, we're talking about sex now, and it just came to me very clearly last week. I thought I'll just put this in here. And if you've never had it, as soon as you start talking about sex, there's always a lot of emotion going on, because we have learnt that this is a naughty, you're naughty now. Sex and the sexual act and sexuality is something that you don't talk naturally about, because it's sort of, you have to sort of hide it away. But I just felt guided to just use this here, because it's a wonderful image of what we really spoke, this whole process that we're in. So, and whatever emotions come up, if you want to keep watching, it's good to just sense, oh, I'm feeling all this nervousness now, and that is only from the ego, because our spirit has no problem with sexuality, because it knows that it's completely natural, that we are sexual beings because we are human beings. So, if you've never had an orgasm before, you've got something to look forward to, and if it never happens, it doesn't matter. But the orgasm is a wonderful, wonderful image of what we're really being asked to do. And experiencing an orgasm is, in the physical world, it's, I think, the most the experience that gives the most well-being of all experiences. It is an intense feeling when you reach this climax of well-being that just flushes through your whole body like this. It's an explosion of well-being. And why did God create us that way? Why did He make us, our bodies, that way, that we were to experience such an enormous delight, an explosion of well-being? Why did He do that? Well, He wanted us to enjoy the sexual act, but He also, I feel, He's telling us something here. And so, getting a bit more practical, for many women it's hard to have an orgasm. It's difficult to learn to have an orgasm. And why is this? Because you have to let go. And that's really the process that we're in right now in our life, I feel. Because we know that if it's hard to have an orgasm, the best thing you can do is relax and let go. Stop thinking. Stop holding on. Just let it all go. Just sink into your body. Just sink into your being, and your body creates an orgasm. It happens naturally in the sexual act. So and the same. So this is really the orgasm. In a way, it's actually the same as allowing our spirit to take over in our life. Because, and what I was talking about before, the crucifixion of the ego. Let it go, let it die, just let it all go, let the thoughts go, let all the ideas go, let all the plans go, let all the memories go. What was it I said, what was it I did, what was it I experienced? Just let it all go. What is it I'm going to do tomorrow? What is it I have to do? What is it I have to think of? Let it all go. And what happens, you reach this climax of well-being. And the same really is what we're going through right now in our lives. Let go. Let the spirit take over, and that well-being, that spiritual well-being we are experiencing is like an orgasm. Only it's a spiritual orgasm. It's living in bliss. So you can call it, we become orgasmic beings. We are living in complete bliss in every moment. So it's like really living in an orgasmic state, because life becomes so pleasurable and so beautiful, so delightful, and we feel beautiful and delightful. We feel that we are delight, and when you have a physical orgasm, you just feel this everything is just flowing through you, and we know that what happens physically and hormonally, and every single cell of the body is completely rebalanced and cleansed and rejuvenated, and it's so good for us to have a physical orgasm. And the same with this awakening process, to let the spirit take over. The presence of God flushes through us. We come alive. We're completely alive with the spirit. So every cell in our body is sparkling clean. And we, in this state of being, we are life. We're not no longer holding on to, oh, I'm a 56-year-old woman who has experienced this, and I know this, and I know this, and I know that, and I'm going to do this tomorrow. You let that go. It's not important anymore. It doesn't disappear, but it's not important, because you wish to be in this now and let God express himself in this now through you. And why? Because it feels so good. There is no better feeling, there's no better way to be in this world than that. And you feel that when you're in this state of being, you don't need to hold on to any wisdom. I learnt this and this and this and this 2 years ago. Doesn't matter, because the wisdom that you need in this moment is always in this now. It's right here. So you know that the treasure chest of all the treasures you need is always in you in this moment. And you can't really hold on to any of it, because the wisdom and the beauty and the love, all this that you're feeling right now, is different in a minute. It's all different because it's all changing, because it's life itself. It never stagnates. So you become life. And so this was just to share about, if you feel it's difficult to let go of your ego, this is just using the orgasm as an image or a helper, can be good, because we know that when we let go, that helps that process. And the same in our lives right now. The more we let go, the more the spirit takes over. So yeah, I don't know how this video is going to be, but we're going to have a Gabriel message, and we're going to do that now. The sun is rising. I'm going to go and feed the animals, and I'll come back and do the Gabriel message. So see you in a minute. So while we look out into this very cool, beautiful, clear morning, we'll read our Gabriel message. So today's message is number 14. Do not allow yourself to dwell in past patterns. Simply accept those choices and move ahead. Dear one, as you move through your life, you are given many opportunities for growth. There may have been times when you chose ways of behavior that now seem inappropriate, and may even cause you great pain when you think of them. You may also have a sense of guilt for the pain you feel you caused others. You are here at this place and time, reading these words to know that it is time to accept the choices you made in the past and to move on with your life. What occurred in the past is over. To continue to beat yourself up or wish you had done things differently serves no purpose.
There comes a time for forgiveness, and this is what is necessary before you can make the changes you want for your future. When you continue to relive past experiences, it keeps you dwelling in those patterns of behavior, even if you are no longer acting them out. It is necessary to clear those patterns through compassion and forgiveness. Forgiveness is love in action. It is a cleansing balm that can soothe the tattered places of your mind. There is no person on earth who, as a child of God, does not deserve forgiveness. All that you have been through and all the actions you have taken up to this point have taught you lessons you have needed to learn. This is true for everyone. You will continue to receive the same lessons over and over again, even if there is a slight variation in the form, until you do learn them. It is helpful to remember your life as a huge school, where learning experiences are given in every moment to bring you to the peace and light of the divine presence within you. At a certain point in life, the peace of God is more important than anything else. All the choices you make will be made from the inner awareness. Does this bring me closer to peace? It is helpful to pray for others that they too might also find this place of peace within themselves. Joy is found in total forgiveness. It can free you to live your life in the present moment because you will no longer be looking back at what occurred in the past or worrying about the future. When you find yourself living wholly in the moment, an energy is released within you. You can find passion for living and a connection to the source of all your good. From this place, all the decisions you make and the actions you take will be for the highest good of all concerned. From this place, you can find the peace you have been searching for. It is in this moment right now, and it is within you. And here comes a practice. Take the time to look at what is worrying you, or what things in your life cause you pain when you remember them. It can be helpful to make a list or write a letter to God or to the angels and say all that you want to about that subject. Don't hold back. It's okay to go on and repeat yourself. The important thing is that you clear your mind and emotions. It may be helpful to picture yourself as a small child who did something which was not appropriate. Forgive this child of God, for if you had known how to do it differently, you would have. This is true for others involved in any situation. Forgive their inner child, even if you cannot forgive their actions. When you feel completely, sit quietly and breathe balanced breaths. Call on the angels of light and love to be with you and guide your way. Next, pray to your higher power and ask for forgiveness for those actions that may still cause you pain. Ask that you might feel God's forgiveness at the deepest level of your being. Have an intention to heal all experiences within you from the past so that you may live now in peace. When you have this intention, the flow of energy in your life will move in the way that will reflect your highest good. In this truth you can trust. Free yourself by forgiving the past, accepting the present moment as it is, and allowing miracles to be your future. This is as it shall be when you remember your inspiration for today. Do not dwell in past patterns, simply accept those choices and move ahead. Here's our card for today. Flexibility.
The sun's coming out. So beautiful. So we're going to end this video now. And I don't know about you, but every time I make one of these videos, I feel so much better. If I didn't feel very well before the film, I feel really good afterwards. And I'm sure it's because you're there. So thank you for being there and for sharing this time with me. And I just ask for all good in your life. And I just love how this Gabriel message was talking about what we're talking about, that let it go, let it go. And sometimes it's easier to forgive others than forgive ourselves. But just let it go. We're all humans. We're all learning. And whatever we did for a reason, and to just let it go. Let the guilt go. And as I mentioned last time, I want to do some more about EFT, but go and have a look at Brad Yates and study it if you like. We're using it a lot in our life, my husband and me, and it is just so powerful. So if you feel some guilt about something you've done or something that's happened, maybe anger about something that somebody has done to you, just use your EFT. Although I'm feeling all this guilt right now, I choose to love myself. And you just go guilt, guilt, guilt. It's so simple and it's so powerful. So, and if you're in the situation which many people can be who simply can't feel their emotions, you can simply, this is what I do, you simply just, you pray for help. And you can just tap these while you're doing it. Dear Lord, I know something's there about this and this, or this and this person. I know something's there. Please show me the emotion. Please just help me let go of all the tension and just feel the emotion so I can release it. So I just trust that this emotion is going to come up now and see what comes. So have a really, really beautiful Sunday and have a love-filled, light-filled, bliss-filled week. See you soon.